Couple of late bros. Hey Matt. How do you get into the chat so quickly like that? That's funny, man. Yeah, we're a little late tonight. Sorry, buddy. Getting this thing set up. What's going on, Task fam? We got the cat bro right here, straight chilling. See if I can bring it in here. Oh, sorry.
The table is like
Too close.
or we're too close to it. Sorry.
Cat bro's chilling, straight chilling tonight. Ow, no he's not, he's gone.
Is that?
Oh man. Yeah, this is too close to me. Dude,
I
I'm
think we're
fucking
just too close to it.
too close to the stream.
No, too close to the table compared to normal or something.
Stream health is bad. That sucks.
Stream health is bad?
I don't know, that's what it says. I think it always says that.
Jesus.
Sure, your connection is fast enough. Well, let us know how it looks, peeps. Dude, how you been doing? I feel wrecked right now.
I'm fucking shot.
Yeah, it's looking alright. Is it stuck? Yeah, anyway, so welcome to 424 Recording Live. I'm Mike from 424 Recording. This is Jay, the Wizard of Operation Audio at Hemisphere Studio. My guest, as always. Yeah, we're just straight chilling tonight, like we do every Wednesday night. Little hangout, live stream. I hear a lot of people have been listening to the audio in post. We've been getting a lot of emails and comments and stuff, so that's awesome. Thank you for listening to the stream. Thank you for checking it out. It's almost like a podcast, I guess. That's really cool. Yeah.
Just read the chat off of your screen.
Yeah.
This is like,
Yeah, oh, sure, dude.
I'm still losing charge even though I'm plugged in to charge.
We got Matt, and Coop. What up, Coop? Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling really low energy tonight. I'm not really sure. I'm like riding my bike a little bit more, trying to exercise, and it's just been kicking my ass. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like really out of shape, and it's like I feel so out of shape. I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever get in shape again. It's like that crazy. So I don't know. What's going on with you?
I don't know. Building amps and shit.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
Working on stuff.
I did see the Instagram from it. I didn't have a chance to like. I gotta check out your feed. But tell us what's been going on with that. I saw that you've been building some apps for Kingtone.
Well, I don't know if they're for Kingtone necessarily. Yeah.
The local shop Jay works with.
So far, he hasn't put any money up, so those are still my amps. But yeah, built 2 pine boxes. I got yelled at by Black Bolt though.
What is that?
He reached out and was complaining because I used the ethnic blanket real cloth idea.
Oh, that's like his style
I guess. I don't know.
or their style. So wait, yeah. What happens with that? How can they do that? I mean, he's not listening to the lockdown on ethnic blanket.
You can't really do anything.
Hey, Trent Cat, what's up?
Yeah, so that happened.
Hmm.
I don't know. Other than that, not much.
Cool.
Machine and chassis and getting cabinets ready to go. Both cabinets are built, the baffles are made. One baffle's covered with some this like 70s corduroy material.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
That's
And
awesome.
the other one I haven't covered yet, but it'll be covered with this I got this shit, I don't know what the hell it's meant for. I think it kind of feels like a throw blanket, like an Afghan or something. But it's got like this like blue paisley fucking, I don't know.
That's dope.
Like a powder blue kind of paisley print.
Are they on the Instagram?
Well, the one is.
I'm
the
gonna
other
link
one is
these
not.
guys. Frame of reference here, Instagram.com/operation audio. Should come up. Oh, pages.
Underscore in the middle.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one with the corduroy material. After that post went up, that guy from Black Bolt messaged me. Said something about I would do better in the long run to come up with my own design.
Oh, he's kind of like shit posting.
Well, he just private messaged me.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't know. We're working out like different materials with different joinery styles, and we're both building narrow panel tweed style cabinets. So,
he was kind of saying it just as like a
sort of
friendly
like,
advice, or is it
sort
kind
of
of
like
like
a,
your
sort of like a friendly cease and desist, I think.
Oh,
But I told him that I responded that there was certainly no offense intended, and that,
yeah.
while one of the amps was covered in an ethnic blanket style fabric, that the rest of them were slated to be whatever I took fancy to at the time.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how somebody. I mean, I would be flattered. You know, they say that.
Yeah, no, that's actually what he opened with.
Oh, okay.
Imitation is not something flattery.
He said it's not the
Yeah,
highest part?
yeah.
Oh, he's just jealous, man. He's jealous that you're
I don't really care, man.
doing the thing. I would be afraid to tell Jay to see something.
Well,
What's up, bouldering?
the reason that I would heed that advice is actually twofold. One, because as boutique builders, we certainly can't afford to not get along, even though he's on one coast and I'm on another. But on the second point, I guess, is the fact that he's got a lot more money than I do. So if he decides he really doesn't like the fact that I built something, he could try to start some sort of litigation, which I can't afford to defend.
But
So it's much easier just to make a change.
But I feel like this is the kind of press that would. I mean, how big of a company? I don't really know much about the boutique amp game. How big of a company is Blackwell? Is that it?
Yeah, they sell a lot of amps. Seems like got a lot of cool designs. I don't know what they, I've seen obviously the sound clips on YouTube and their Instagram and shit like that. And a couple people that I follow have Black Volt amps, which is actually how they were brought to my attention. But he's building out of reclaimed like California barnwood, basically. It's all kinds of like old white oaks and turn of the century woods and stuff.
I guess I wouldn't think that like and like obviously boutique pedals is one thing, but boutique amps I feel like is a whole other animal. And I mean personally, just from like what I understand about the minimal
what you need
context
to know,
that I have, it just seems like a kind of a strange thing to be. Because you're making like a handful of these at the moment.
Oh, like
From
a
whatever
handful
materials
of,
you
a
have.
handful of these, like ever, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, that's so to.
Well, that actually
that's crazy. I mean,
it made me feel good and it made me feel bad at the same time because like
that's super flattering.
I really don't build that many amps, and here you
Yeah.
are like rattling my chain over.
Yeah, I feel like the idea behind it too. One more I know of your builds and the things that you build is always kind of like one-off.
Always.
Whatever you got
Go to
around.
the same.
If you have some stuff like you said,
Yep.
random wood is sitting around, wood all left
Well,
over
this
from a project.
wood I actually bought. This is all solid pine, brand new pine.
In general, that you tend to use whatever you got. You're not like trying
But
to
I
mass
also-
produce this stuff.
I also built these. I built these two cabinets. They're identical. I machined all the parts all at the same time. But I used the golden ratio. Did I explain that to you last week?
Can you explain it?
With the thing with architecture.
I
There's a
understand,
ratio
yeah.
that like if something is X feet wide, it should be X feet tall to be visually pleasing to the eye.
Right.
So there's a ratio. It's 1.6. 1.6877 something. I forget. I can't remember what the.
Does it do with like triangles or is it?
It's basically like your optical relation of things. So those cabinets are designed that way. The inside dimensions are based on the golden ratio. I figured out my chassis width and then multiplied it by that ratio, and that gave me what my inside height should be.
Cool.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. But that also is not something that guy's doing. He's building, best I can tell, like about square boxes.
Yeah.
What I built are actually almost identical size-wise to the last big amp I did for Kingtone, the Orpheum revamp that I did. that cabinet was almost the same size as the two that I just built. Mine are a little deeper. So to differentiate myself from what that guy's doing, though, I've routed the cabinets for tweed fender style controls. So when you look at the top of the cabinet, behind the handle is a route for your controls, your inputs, and all that shit. Because his all face the back, like I've been doing.
Yeah.
But whatever. I'll make small changes if it makes somebody else fucking feel better.
Yeah.
If it makes you go away. Honestly, I don't really care. I'm not
I just
building.
think that's nuts that you put up a couple pictures on Instagram and somebody basically reached out to you to say like, "Yo, dude, like you can't." I mean, in so many words,
you can't build those.
Yeah, and because that to me, I don't know. Obviously, as soon as anybody tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Is that really intellectual property at that point? It kind of seems like people come up with the same idea.
Well, I mean, the Mexican
out, like,
the Mexican blanket thing, or the ethnic blanket thing, whatever. I mean, I've seen people cover grills and all sorts of shit.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, I think anybody who has any knowledge, anybody watching this, anybody who plays amps, like, you understand that there's something that covers the speaker grill.
That's
like,
how it works.
Whatever kind of fabric you want to put over that.
That's how it works. So it's all good though. I
think it's awesome. I just think it's funny that this person would be so against it. It seems really weird. What's going on?
Need some gain,
Tyler.
Folks.
Yeah. Well, Matt had a question. He said
audio is lower volume output tonight.
Oh, weird. All right. How's that? Still too low? Or were you just sitting further back?
We're on the same pattern.
Oh shit, man! I didn't plug it in. I'm an idiot.
Oh, we're on the fucking phone.
Peeps,
is that better?
That should be way better. That should be a lot different. Damn it! That was. I hope. It sounds like you guys are still here. You could hear it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure you could hear it.
Yeah. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, guys. We weren't paying attention. We kind of like just turned it on, and just got to talking because dial it back, or we'll kill it back a little bit. So Matt asked, "How tall are we?" I'm guessing Mike is 6'2" and Jay is 5'10".
I'm actually just, I don't know, right about 6 feet the last time I was measured.
Oh, okay. So pretty close, Matt. I don't know how you got my height like that. Are you using that new, did you say Apple phones now come with a measuring kit? He must be like measuring us on the screen or something.
Yeah, my driver's license says 6 feet.
Yeah, sorry about that, fam. We I didn't have the mic plugged in. It's just, I don't know. I'm fucking out of it today. Anyway, thank you, Tyler. Thanks, Matt. But yeah, so bookend to the amp thing. Did we cover that totally?
Yeah, I mean pretty much. What I'm building right now is.
That's sick that you're like built. I think it's awesome. You're putting these amps together.
The first one that'll be done is a 50 watt 50 watt single 12, sort of basement style, I guess, a little bit. But I'm setting it up to run EL34s though, so it should be interesting.
Nice.
And the second one is based on some hot rod Princeton transformers, and that one's going to be sort of the modified clone of a 6G2 Princeton, which is what I built for King Tone the last time.
Yeah.
I worked on a couple of those 6G2s, and I have a modification set that goes with it, so I just build the amp that way. But I did just get turret boards, which is fucking awesome. Turret board is like a board about this big, and it's got 180 holes drilled in it in a pattern. And you take these little fucking chrome-plated brass turrets. You stick them through, and you flip it over, and there's an anvil thing. You drive it, and it sets them.
Cool.
So my new board for this amp that I'm working on right now, instead of being all point to point and shit running everywhere like I usually do with little fucking strips and stuff, I actually have like almost Fender style where there's like a fucking thing that the component actually wraps around and then you run a wire up to that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot faster too.
A little more different of a process.
It took me a half hour to put all the components in that amp.
Yeah.
Whereas it usually takes me longer than that just to find the heat shrink and get the heat gun ready when I'm doing point to points.
Hey, Tree Man. Tree Man had a question I saw. I think he said, I don't know why they retracted it, but he asked, what's the most expensive amp that you have that you don't use?
Me personally?
Hey, Bobby. I guess anybody in the chat, anybody, I don't know why, Tree Man, that's a great question. I don't know why you retracted it, but I saw it before they retracted it. And everybody in the chat, too. What's the most expensive amp you own that you never use? I would say my Super Reverb right now. I haven't. It's probably worth about 900 to a K, I guess. And I just sits in my closet right now. I used to use it live a lot back before Jay was playing with me. And then when I started playing with Jay, I've been using graciously enough to Jay's been letting me use his equipment, so if we do play.
I don't think any of the amps that I own are particularly expensive.
I don't know. I guess that's
the most.
Expensive. Oh wait, I do have that Ampeg though too.
Yeah, the most expensive amp in my collection. I don't own it, but the most expensive amp in my collection that I never use is a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. Never fire that fucking thing up.
Whose is that?
Friend of mine who got really sick and ended up in a wheelchair and needed somebody to take care of his gear.
Damn. What's going on, Bobby? Good to see you.
Yo.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, many dark days. That's awesome. I gotta check out Ministry. You ever listen to Ministry?
I hate Ministry.
Killing Joke. I've never listened to those bands. I have to check them out. Matt said I'm 6'2", Matt. Matt was saying really quick. I didn't mean to gloss over. I'm struggling with the fall song challenge. Thought I came up with a good song until I realized I was rewriting a song from the '90s. LMAO is stuck now. Matt, I would say just keep going for it. Even if it sounds, just finish it off. At least finish the track. It's all good if you've ripped something off. I think the most important thing is to get it done. I hate when that happens, but I say if you have writer's block, just do it. You know.
Coop, I saw before you said something asking about if I was making amps. Yes, I'm making amps.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was just like a
Oh, it's a statement. Okay, I thought it was a question.
Yeah, we got the audio straightened out. I'm 6'2", Jay is 6 feet. I think we can establish.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
How did you do Anders' parts? Did you get the drum sections first? Oh, okay, Bobby. There's actually a video coming out Friday. I did this video with Logic Pro X Drummer. Have you ever messed with that? Logic Pro X comes with like a drummer track now, and it's come with that for a couple of years, and it's basically like this easy drummer or one of those like fake drum algorithm type things. So it's actually just Logic Pro X Drummer. On Friday, there's the video. I just finished that up today. That'll explain the whole process and what I went through to do it. But basically, yeah, I came up with the riffs, and then I just tapped out like a simple drum machine beat on, I think, my phone or something, or maybe it was just in Logic, and then I like matched the drummer tracks to that, which that video is going to be on Friday, and that's pretty cool. I think I went through it pretty good, like how to use it, and it sounds all right, for what it is. So, and Anders is so like in this drummer thing, they have like like Kyle, and he plays pop rock, and they have like Anders, he plays heavy rock, and they have like Ian, he plays something else, and it's like. Yeah, they have like these fake characters.
He's got to play either fucking blues rock or fucking prog metal.
Yeah. He's like somewhere in there. But yeah, so
that's an Ian thing to do.
Hey man, nice shot. Can you break up the drums into
now that the smoke's gone and the air is all clear?
What's that?
Hey man, nice shot.
Hey man, nice shot. Oh yeah.
Now that the smoke's gone.
You can break up the drums into separate tracks. That's something I gotta. I've done it before. I didn't do it in this video. I was trying to figure it out. But basically, you can take. So the drummer track just exports into like a stereo track, and you can change the mono, whatever, and it's fully mixed. But you can change the drum hits and the drum velocities and everything. But also, you can break down that one track so that it's 8 different tracks. There's like stereo overheads, mono kick, mono snare, underhead snare, So I think it would be a good tool for people who want to learn how to mix drums, because you can go to drummer and then just separate the tracks and, I don't know, fuck around with it. Well, I guess
Yes
that'd
and
be a good way
no.
to take samples that sound halfway good. And
Well, that's the problem though with mixing shit like that is you're working on samples that somebody already mixed.
that's true. Okay, that's
Those
a good point.
samples are already hacked up and EQ'd down to little slivers of a perfect sound, and then compressed usually, and
Right, they're
you know
already kind of like finalized.
treated. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe that wouldn't be. I just thought
Well,
it'd
it's
be
not a
cool if
bad
you were
thing. I
gonna
mean,
like,
it'll give
just to
you
get an idea of like what those
right.
different mics
It
sound
just
like and what you could potentially put on them. And
it just won't teach you anything about how to actually carve the drums down
right, that's true.
to workable frequency sets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not bad practice, I suppose.
But you can do that. I'll do a video at some point on how to do that. But I think there's a way to just split them all up, and you can even drag them onto like an audio track and look at the MIDI functionality of it too, in case like you can't get the algorithm or the parameters to do what you want. It's pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, Mike, how did you track? I'm curious because I have Anders also need to give him a call to do something. Yeah. That was the whole joke in that video. I don't know if you saw that one, but
No.
I called up Anders, who was like in the program, and I was talking to him, and that's the thing with drummers in that program is that they're always there 24/7. So if Jay and I can't hang out and jam, or if you don't have a drummer in your area or somebody you're playing with, it's pretty useful to give Anders a call and see what's up. Like my buddy Tyler actually was making some music with that back in like 2015. That's what made me get the updated version, because I was like, this is pretty cool. I want to mess with this, because he was like pumping out song after song just from like, and it was like, if you want to just sketch an idea out and get it done, I don't think it's a bad way to go about it. I think it might be because I might look taller than Jay because it's on like an angle, or maybe not. I don't know.
It's also because I slouch.
I've been trying to sit up straighter too, so maybe that's like part of it. You're slouching. I'm trying to sit up a little straighter.
Yeah, I
My
just
back's
sit how
been
I
fucked.
sit, man.
But Jay looks a lot meaner.
When I sit up straighter, I make you happy, since the order of the day is who's taller.
I could slash down. But yeah, so that's definitely, I would definitely experiment with, I think drummers in GarageBand and Logic. If you have either one of those, and it's free to play and free to fuck with if you have the program. So
Tree Man, yeah, Univox U65RN. 65 watt, 112 solid state, late 60s, early 70s combo.
is it the red one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's
Well,
cool.
they're not supposed to be red, they're black, but
Oh, okay.
I covered that one in some fabric from Joann's one Sunday morning.
Nice.
Just for the fuck of it. The black covering's all fucked up.
$99 mono price amp. I haven't seen that. That must be one of those like Chinese companies.
I'm sure.
I've heard of mono price.
Yeah.
I like the favorite cheap amp I would say. I like the $50 PV Backstage Plus that I got, that I always talk about, and that I do some of the vocals through.
Tell you what amp I had that was fucking a lot of fun was the Epiphone Studio 10. It's got like a 6 or an 8-inch speaker in it. It's a little solid state, like comes with the starter kit.
That's cool.
That thing was a lot of fun till lightning struck and killed it. Bogan Challengers are cool. Regular Challengers are cool too. Pre-Bogan.
90s Fender solid state called a Princeton Chorus.
I had a Princeton Chorus. I sold it. Some guy gladly gave me $75 for it.
Fender Super Champs. I've never messed with one of those. Those are kind of like the later.
Yeah.
They're like solid state? Or are they like mix?
The Super Champ. I'm trying to remember. Does the Super Champ have the 12 in it?
And then Julian said.
Or am I thinking of? I might be thinking of the Champ 12.
What was the name of the Univox again?
U65RN.
Oh, interesting, Bobby. Bobby said, I just got a couple Chinese pedals in 2 days ago, and I'm impressed. So which ones did you get? We were talking about this, I don't know, last stream or the stream before, about just like,
They're gonna be like 100% a clone of something else. So.
yeah, like the Klon one you can get. Yeah, I did, Matt. I didn't realize that he was still saying something. Little joke in that one for you guys. Joyo American Sound and 3
Yeah, the Joyo
Donner.
stuff is all clones.
Yeah.
Some of that shit's cool though.
Yeah, I've heard good things. Like people that have gotten them, for the cost.
Biggest complaint I've seen with Joyo stuff is that like sometimes when you get it, you pull it out of the box and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Other than that, as long as it fires up, it's usually pretty cool.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard the switches aren't great on them. I don't know.
Basically everything isn't great on them, but if you just want sounds, I mean, they're still better than like the old Arian, plastic box pedals or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
They're built more solid than the Ibanez sound tanks.
They look solid if you go on AliExpress or one of those sites and like it literally. I was saying this last time. It literally looks like the Klon one I saw.
Yeah.
It's called like the Pony or something.
There is I think it's on that site.
It's funny. How tall are you, Matt? Matt said I'm short as shit.
I think on that AliExpress is where that.
Yeah, it'll probably be all right, Bobby. I'd say just take care of it. I think that's a good point, like Jay said, as long as it works now. But I'm assuming the stop switches.
Yeah, but all that shit you can replace.
Yeah, that's easily replaceable. You get a $3, $4 switch on eBay or something.
Yeah, I think that Joyo's used a daughter board, so you'd have to unsolder it from the board. But
oh, this is a good question. Welcome, Tej Bratrude. Going to record drums soon. I'm curious how much work you guys put into tuning the drums first. I'm a guitar player myself. Got any tips? Yeah, a lot. I would say that's going to be the biggest for me. Like when I'm like recording drums and messing around with drums, like I did this drum course at recorddrums.com if you want to check that out. And I would say I spent a whole day even before I went to record the drums tuning them and getting them to sound the way I wanted, either changing a head here and there. Like snare especially, I feel like the snare really dictates the overall sound of not only the kit but the recording. So it's important to make sure you get the snare sounding good. And I think always like a tip we always say on the channel and a lot of we've talked about in some of the streams is like the best your stuff's going to sound is the way it sounds like before you record it. So take a lot of time tuning it to what were you gonna say to how you want to go.
I'm letting you finish your point.
Yeah, I would say take your time tuning it. You might have to look up some videos on how to tune things, but at the end of the day, if it sounds good, it is good. The cymbals too can be especially tricky because you can't tune them, so they're kind of just based on what they sound like already. So
thin and light usually ends up better for recordings unless it's a really, really dirty band, super heavy, then you need something that's got a little bit more crunch to it, a little heavier cymbal. But to me, first thing you want to do before you even touch the drums to tune them is put the drummer behind the kit in the room and listen to the kit. If the kit sounds good in the room, then I wouldn't fuck with it that much. If it sounds bad in the room, then I would figure out why. And that could be tuning issues, that could be bad heads, who the hell knows, could be anything. Really, if you want to look at it sort of professionally, you would bring the kit in the day before, you would put new heads on that, you would tune them high, and you would let them acclimate overnight, and then you would bring the drummer in the next day and you would sort of settle those heads in and tune them down to where they want to be, and make sure that with that drummer they sound good in the room again.
Yeah, I guess I was also speaking from a perspective of I wasn't sure if Taj, because like if you're recording them yourself or you have a drummer, because I think that's really wise advice what Jay said, to like listen to your kit in the room. But I guess if you're the only person, I'm used to doing shit like solo, so
yeah. But so mic it up and
because I kind of go for what I'm hearing. Because I guess I tend to do like a lot of mono overhead stuff, and
I would mic it up and listen to it still.
I usually tune it to like how it sounds to me as a drummer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like sitting at the kit.
Yep. Well, I mean.
And then definitely record like a couple passes and see what it sounds like. And
recording it for how it sounds behind the or whatever, trying to settle it in for how it sounds from behind the kit's not always good practice though. A lot of times from behind the kit, depending on what's behind you, your low end, your low mids will be greatly exaggerated versus what your mics are picking up out in the room. So you got to be careful with that balance. It's usually works out better in my experience anyway to mic everything up and sort of figure out what kind of sounds you actually have and then adjust from there. But if somebody comes in with a kit that, like, you know, I work with a lot of bands that I know, and you know, I go and see them live and shit before we record, and the drum kits sound like balls. So I know when that guy comes that kit is getting worked on. There's no two bones.
Yeah, I think no matter which way you go about doing it, get the drums to sound.
They gotta sound good in the room.
Yeah, make them sound good to you. Make them do whatever you can to make them sound the best that they can in that time period. You know, whether that's getting heads and tuning them, or you know, figuring out dampening techniques, or figuring out, you know, how to tune the kick drum lower, or however you want it to sound. Putting a mic how you want to pick up the kick drum, essentially, or whatever other mics you're using.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've always noticed the biggest thing for me with drums, and I don't know if this is the same for you, Jay, like I was saying, but about snare drum, I think, like I've had recordings where I thought drums sounded, they sounded great except for the snare, and that really ruined the whole thing. But I noticed, like, if you get a good sounding snare, I don't know, for me, I guess in like rock music and the stuff that I do, I feel like that kind of dictates this overall sound of the kit. Like, I feel like if you get a good sounding snare drum and a good, you know, like you're happy with that, it'll make everything else sound better. But if you have a snare drum that doesn't sound great,
yeah, but
it won't matter what the other shit sounds like.
You know, if you got a bad snare that's hard to tame, try goofy tuning, which is where you tune the whole thing up and then basically take one lug essentially out. Or do the OG Elton John style sound and put like a bandana over your snare drum, or put
the wallet trick I like a lot.
The wallet trick's a bitch though, because the wallet will slide and then it gets in the middle of your hit.
Yeah, usually either tape it down or try to, because usually the snare drum is tilted, so I'll keep it at the bottom.
A spare felt with some gaff tape across it works good.
Moon gels
work good. Depends on how damp it needs to be. And
it
really depends how bad it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've come across a lot of drums that, like, for all my trying and all the experience I have, I can't get a good sound out of them. So you just, you know, you then have to make amendments.
Yeah.
Like that drum on the thing we recorded. That drum's always sounded like fucking shit.
It sounds great.
Yeah, it's because it's tuned like as low as it could go. Yeah. The head's just about wrinkly.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I personally don't prefer a lot of overtones and like hearing that kind of a thing, especially in a snare. So.
I don't like overtones. I like either low and thwappy wet.
Yeah.
Or I like a gunshot. I don't like. On the back of the note. I can't stand that.
No.
That's just the shit you're gonna pull your hair out trying to fix like forever afterwards.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's like, I just prefer like a much more dead sounding kit.
I also think that most drummers don't really understand how to get a good kick sound. Everybody can tune their fucking snare up and get a usable sound. I don't give a shit what the snare is. You tune it tight enough, you'll be able to do something with it.
Yeah.
But the kick drum, you know, I see guys that have like 3 sleeping bags in the kick drum. What the fuck are you doing? That's not a kick drum sound. I know it sounds cool from behind the kit, but nobody else can hear it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get all that shit out of your fucking drum and put a ported head on it. Put a little bit of something, a folded up towel or 2 towels in the bottom, touching both heads, and get that to sound good. You want an open kick drum sound if you want any boom and any kind of projection out of that thing. The more shit you put in there, the worse you're making it for everybody. The shit just turns it all into attack. It kills all the low end. It kills all the power of the drum.
Yeah, my favorite kick drum that I had ever had, I think it's at Hapro's currently, its current resting place, and it's just completely closed. There's no holes on either head. The way I have it tuned, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Hapro's kick drum also sounds very good, so I've been using his. But I think he has maybe, like you're saying, one towel in there, and it's ported, so
Yeah.
I guess all that stuff factors into play too. There's a lot to think about with drums because it's not just one instrument. Like guitar, it's
Well, drums, yeah,
kind of one sound. Drums is like many sounds making up one
Yep.
sound, so it's tricky. But I hope that stuff answers your question, Tej, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you for coming through and asking that. I hope that one. I don't know. That'll make a good one. I was thinking about going back through some of the podcasts or there you go, Freudian slip. Back through some of the live streams and I've been thinking about making the live stream audio into just like a podcast, another podcast episode. I don't know. Does that sound cool to people? Have you guys been checking the podcast out? Might just shift over and do that once in a while.
I'm gonna post a link right now. This is an amp that I've worked on before, and these actually sound pretty cool. This is a really interesting, cheap tube amp. It's a copy of
this is like an AliExpress.
Yeah, it's a copy
Nice.
of a Fender Champ, but it's done with a different rectifier tube.
Hey, Jeremy, what's going on? Jeremy said I've seen people put a snare drum on the front of the bass.
No, you haven't. What you've seen them do is put a sub kick in front of the bass drum. Inside that shell is the equivalent of an NS10 woofer.
You got it, Tej.
Either wired to a direct box transformer or not. You also can put an 8 to 10 inch speaker into a snare basket, like the stand that would hold the snare, and face it at it, and then just wire those leads to a DI and do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Tape-Op has some cool articles about how to make your own too, out of like an old like flea market drum shell and a speaker.
Yeah, I've seen like just ones that are even just like an open, like a drum shell with a head on it, and then
Usually, you put the mesh heads like off of either the practice sets or the electronics. You put them over either end, low tuned, and the speaker suspends inside of that. And then
okay.
I built a couple of those. I built them in PVC.
Did
Like-
you like using them?
The only sound test I ever did was going check, 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 and then I gave it to the guy I was going to. One though belongs to the drummer for Hairbag, and he uses it in his studio.
Cool.
I actually own the tool to run mic stand threads into it now. We could drill a hole and tap it for
That's
5/8 27. Yeah, you can basically put anything on a mic stand with that.
So it's passive?
It is passive. It's like a giant dynamic mic, but what it's meant to do and what all of them do, regardless of size, the smaller they are, the higher the center resonant frequency. So if you put like a 15-inch speaker in there, that fucking thing will extend way down into, whatever, like in the 40, 50 hertz range probably if you can get it moving. The energy will be low, but that would be its sort of resonant peak. But when you get down to like the 3.5 or 3-inch, whatever the ones where I built for that guy, that the resonant frequency of that thing is like somewhere around 150 or something like that.
Whoa.
So what you're getting is like low mid bump out of it, basically. But you can EQ it to do the same kind of thing and fake the sub kick. But yeah, they work just like a dynamic mic. You just don't get the top end definition that you would out of a dynamic, just because the diaphragm and the voice coil diameter is so different. You can experiment with it though. If you have a 112 or a 212 guitar cabinet, just put that as close as you possibly can to the kick drum and hook it to a DI. It'll do the same fucking thing. Because really, like a dynamic mic element is nothing more than a speaker run backwards, and a speaker's the same vice versa. So if you applied a speaker signal of low wattage to your SM57 capsule, it would play music. That's a thing.
Yeah, weren't we talking about that a couple streams ago? Yeah.
I think more than a couple, but yeah.
I remember the conversation about turning like speakers into microphones. It's cool. I don't know. I'd be curious. Like, I've never used one of those. Tree Man, favorite current Sub Pop artist. I think I know who you're gonna say.
Who am I gonna say?
Tad.
Tad's not a current Sub Pop. Well, I mean, I guess
Was
he's
he
the band Tad technically is on Sub Pop
right,
still, but
yeah, right.
Brothers of Sonic Cloth are on. Fuck, I forget what label we're on now. I would say my favorite current Sub Pop band probably is Mythological Horses.
I like. Well, I think they broke up, but I liked Level Up. I thought they were cool. I thought they had a lot of. I like their influences a lot, and but they were a cool band.
I really liked Strange Wilds also, but I think they're now defunct as well. And I think Mets is on Sub Pop too, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Mets definitely. That's actually. I might switch my answer.
There you go. But yeah, I'm not like I don't
really keep up with.
I don't keep
anymore.
up with their roster either. Basically, since Sub
Unfortunately.
Pop sold out to, I think they're a subsidiary of Capitol or somebody now.
I think they're all kind of like
Conglomerate.
Yeah.
But
Let's take a peek because I don't even know who's. I don't even know who's on it. Rick and Morty is on that.
Rick and Morty.
Bob's Burgers. What?
Oh, probably like soundtracks.
Is this current artists? Okay, so we're looking through the Sub Pop artists.
Eric's Trip. They're probably not fans of fucking. Flight of the Conchords. Those guys are funny.
Eric's Trip, isn't that Sonic Youth?
Yeah, that's a Sonic Youth reference.
I thought there was a band that I thought that those guys were pretty old.
I fucking hate Fleet Foxes.
Fleet Foxes, yeah.
Hot Snakes are alright. I didn't know.
And wait, what?
I didn't know Jay Mascis was on Sub Pop now.
Iron Wine.
It's interesting.
A lot of bands, man. Jeremy Enoch. What's he from? I can't think of the band. Super. Isn't he from like an emo band?
No idea. I did not follow emo music at all.
I just noticed. 1996. Oh, Sunny Day Real Estate.
Oh, word.
That's right. Couldn't think of the name. Cool.
Two of his fellow band members became Foo Fighters. One of them still is.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Oh, King Tough, I've heard of. Level Up, that was the band I said. Mets, yep.
Piss Jeans I've heard of, but not heard.
Mudhoney, yeah, I've heard good things about them.
Oh, Mudhoney's still on there too? Jesus Christ.
Rick and Morty.
Slater Kinney, I fucking hate Slater Kinney.
Slater Kinney, I didn't know they were on Sub Pop. Tad.
The U-Men are still a band? Holy fuck.
Wolf Parade, I didn't think they were still a band too. I fucking love Wolf Parade. Never heard of them. Soundgarden. Isn't Chris Cornell
Defunct himself? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this isn't as current as.
Yeah, maybe not.
U-Men, yeah.
The U-Men were a band like in the early 80s and shit.
Yeah, 83 to 87. Are they like touring or something? Or is
I
it.
Can't believe it.
Nah, it just says, yeah.
So this is like the permalink roster or something.
It says current artists. And then it says all artists. So, I don't know. I mean, all artists, like, obviously.
Yeah, this could be fucking a shit ton.
Sub Pop, I think you guys got to
Afghan
update
Wigs.
your roster. Or the current artist page, at least. But maybe they have records coming out or because that didn't happen with Tad. They like reissued some of the stuff.
Yeah, but he himself is personally listed there as well. So I wonder if they put out the solo record that he made last year.
Down at the bottom there.
I didn't think so, but it could be. Yeah, click Thomas Andrew Doyle. Let's say.
Incineration Ceremony.
Yep, that was the solo record he put out.
Cool.
I didn't know Sub Pop picked that up though. I thought he put that out on his own. That's cool.
That's cool. Maybe I guess maybe that's why they re-released some of his other stuff.
No, the re-releases, the reissues were already happening.
Oh, right. So I guess I would say that. So yeah, probably what do we say? Mets. I'm down with Level Up. I guess Wolf Parade, Tad. I can't get over Rick and Morty though. That's funny. I don't know what. I guess they have some kind of music on there.
Yeah, I like the Afghan Wigs, man.
I haven't listened to those guys in a while. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Cool though. That's cool. I haven't. Like I said, I'm pretty out of touch with stuff these days. I know some modern bands, I guess, but
Actually,
I dig deep into the stuff I want to like find out, or like bands that I like that come out, but I don't really. There's so much stuff out there. It's crazy.
I didn't see Mythological Horses now on there either.
Oh yeah, the Notwist. I didn't even know that was still a band. Those guys are cool.
I don't know what this is. It's like I said, it's like permalinks.
I know it's weird because then they have all artists.
Avi Buffalo, actually, Dave records.
Oh really?
Yep. Avi Buffalo's record has one of the amps I built on it.
Oh really? That's cool. When did
I don't know if it's fucking out yet, but I know they were working on it.
This is the ripe age of 23. Avi's ready to take over the world again. Second time around. I don't know. Did he ever come out with this thing? This sounds old.
I don't know if it's out yet.
I think they gotta update their website here. It says 2010 debut.
Yeah, they've been working on that in LA.
That's awesome. I'm excited to hear your amp on there. 764 Hero. I don't think that's a band anymore. Just love those guys. Guy and girl.
Never heard of them.
They're like Modest Mouse.
But they
kind of like that time period.
They still list shit like Babes in Toyland on there. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, this seems pretty. This is like we're looking at the all artists tab now. If anybody wants to check it out.
Cat Butt was pretty cool.
Trying to figure out.
Cheap Trick was on fucking Sub Pop for what? Put out like an EP or something?
Baby Talk Brontosaurus. Yeah, it looks like a single. Or
That's fucking weird.
That's weird.
Dwarves.
Man, a lot of stuff on here. Holy shit.
What the fuck is Dickless All Stars? Click that.
Dickless too.
Dickless. Well, yeah, Dickless was a band.
There's not even anything here.
No. Dickless was a band that was comprised of one of the women who worked for Sub Pop and some of her friends. I think they did a 7-inch A and B side, and that was it. If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, there's two.
Jack, 1998 and 1990.
The 1990 is the one that I've heard. Saddle Tramp's a fucking ragged ass song. I love that song.
That's that's a crazy discography right there. May 1st, 1990, they got a A side, B side, and then 1998 with the follow up.
That thing in 1990, they did a recording session with Jack Endino. I think it was like a 1-day thing, and they just came in and like banged out these songs. But Saddle Tramp's a cool fucking song. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Couldn't tell you. The chorus is "I'm a saddle tramp." Yeah, it's good shit.
It sounds cool. You have the 7-inch?
I have a copy of that off of it's either the Grunge Years or Sub Pop 200 that came on. I can't remember which. I have a bunch of the old Sub Pop comps though.
East Kilbride, Jesus and Mary Chain. It's funny they have Jesus and Mary Chain listed twice. First under Jesus and Mary Chain, and then the Jesus and Mary Chain. I don't know.
Needed to L7 just came back. Love Battery was fucking great too.
Seattle. Oh man, it looks like I don't know. It looks like somebody's got to go through their website here and do some edits. I think, or maybe it's perfect just the way it is. I don't know.
Did we pass Gas Huffer already? Yeah, we did, right? Yeah.
Gas Huffer.
Alphabet. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gas Huffer was awesome. Fuck, what was the other band? Flop. I don't know if Flop was a Sub Pop band or not.
Don't see it.
No. Flop was pretty fucking good too. They were really tight. Their drummer was fucking sick. They were one of the ones that Conrad. They were probably a Pop Llama band. Conrad Uno did a bunch of their recordings. Whatever.
Oh, Sub Pop is on Sub Pop.
Wow, that's
and
fucking
Sub Pop
weird.
Records is on Sub Pop. That's cool.
Super Suckers. I saw the Super Suckers when I was in Portland, Oregon one time. I hate that band. It's so fucking cheesy. Like the whole set is like a dick joke. It really is. It's like
Super.
I bootlegged it in fact, but
So did you liked it that much that you bootlegged
no,
it?
I showed up to actually bootleg it, and then I realized in the process of bootlegging it that I did not like
I
them
don't
as
like
a live
this.
band at all. I have it still because I fucking
Tyvek? I remember that band.
I spent $15 to go to the show.
Does this band still exist?
No.
Did that ever come out? Interesting. The
Wipers too. Shit.
Oh yeah, Ween. Wolf Parade. I knew. Wooden Shijips.
The walkabouts were cool too.
What's Wooden Shijips? That sounds familiar.
No idea. Like somebody couldn't spell fucking chips.
I know, it's so bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
I think we're missing like a shit.
Yeah,
ton
we gotta go back to the chat
where
here.
the chiz at.
Okay. Mogwai. I just dusted off old Sound Blaster. Huh. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
Audigy Sound Blaster. That's like a fucking a sound card for like an old PC.
Hey, Twin. What's up, Tom? Late Bros here. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Any opinions on Frankie Cosmos?
Why do I know Frankie Cosmos?
Yeah, I like the output of Frankie Cosmos. I was reading a story about how she put out like so many albums before getting like a show or something, because they wanted to make it seem like she's great. She has like 20 albums. You got to book her. Like I think that's fucking pretty badass. Way to try to get a show. I also really like. And I think the guy in her band, he has his own band or something, and his band is really cool. I can't think of the name of it. I really like the album they came out with though a couple of years ago. It was like this really synth-driven synth pop album, like kind of dark and brooding, but very, very cool mood. I'm into that stuff. I'm down with that. I can't think of the guy's name though, or the band. Porches. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool. I like that album. That really. Oh man, I gotta find out what that album is.
Scroll
now.
down a little bit. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the bottom of it? Yeah. Okay.
That's the bottom.
All right, good.
Yeah, Porches Pool. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I thought that was a sick fucking album. 'Cause I know that's like kind of in the same universe. That stuff.
Matt, to run the Sound Blaster in stereo.
Thanks, Jason. What's going on, buddy?
Would have to use one of the 1/4-inch inputs in the back. I think the faceplate only has. Use RCA or maybe optical. The Sound Blaster card should have a stereo 1/8 on the back, so if you got a split cable,
Tree, what up?
you should be able to use that. I used to record shit that way. I wouldn't say My Bloody Valentine has necessarily been an influence on anything I've ever done. I can appreciate it for what it is, and I think that Kevin Shields is definitely a soundsmith.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I think a lot of
It's not really.
I think it's really cool, the approach, and I don't know. Kevin Shields and My Bloody Valentine always seems to come up, like no matter what, in comments or in the live streams.
Yeah.
And always seems to be the exception to the rules and things I've talked about and we talk about, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems to I hear a lot of My Bloody Valentine influence in a lot of stuff lately. I've heard, and like random tracks will come up on SoundCloud and be like, "Is that My Bloody Valentine?" But it's like just a band that sounds exactly like them.
That has like a giant ambient wall in the background.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, that's what modern production has sort of become.
What just like layers and layers.
How much shit can you pack in the background of a fucking song to try to make a really boring song with no content interesting?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing I like I understand about My Bloody Valentine is like it was also like super fucking loud. Like
Yeah.
when they played live. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they play live still again, but I don't know. I think it's cool. I definitely I think those are great albums. I've listened to Loveless many times. I haven't listened to it in a while. I like the first record too a lot. It's a little simpler, but stripped back. I don't know what you'd say, but yeah, I don't know. I would say that's cool band. I'm not like a super fanboy because it seems like there's a lot of super fanboyism around that
Yeah.
band these days. It just seems like yeah, I don't know. I remember looking on like that old pedal site though about his pedal setup after hearing Loveless. This had to be in like early 2000s. There's that site we talk about sometimes where that used to have like everybody's pedal setups and it's like cartoony and it had like the pictures of it. And I remember looking at that and just being a little bit like, oh man, that's cool. He uses like this. Yeah, everybody was said, oh, it's like the tremolo pan stereo pedal, boss pedal that he has. That's like a big part of the sound. Like, I don't know, I never got one, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, I've definitely like researched it, or like, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those like stops on the maybe greatest indie records of all time train. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I like it.
I would say the people who are really pushing the cutting edge with production are going the opposite way modern day. Like Lord and shit. Like there's a real mellow ass drum beat and everything is fucking acapella. Like I
Wait,
dare
did we
you.
just find a modern artist that Jay likes?
I don't particularly care for the style, but I'm just saying production wise, I fucking dare you to try to match that production.
Yeah,
Nobody can do that shit.
yeah, just like super minimalist.
Yeah, listen to the songs, man. Like Royals and shit. That's all vocal layers with
Yeah,
like a
it's
little
like-
yeah, kick and snare
yeah,
behind
yeah.
it. Like
I remember the first time I heard that song, I was like blown away. I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is crazy."
Yeah.
I heard it on the radio.
she's a very odd person, and singing wise, even the way she like enunciates things, is very
Yeah,
fucking
that's like
strange,
a huge
but,
joke right now.
But seriously, like I fucking dare anybody who's got anything to say about that to try to pull it off.
Yeah.
Won't happen. Nobody knows how to do that shit.
Bobby, get something to eat if you're hungry again, bro.
It's all about stacking up fucking modular synths and drum tracks and bass drops and all this fucking bullshit.
I mean, I have noticed like I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody's noticed this, but definitely like a lot of even hip hop and rap stuff today has moved toward this like minimal. Even like what's his name? The one of the biggest rock star hip hop guys now, Post Malone. Like his shit is really like some of it's
Never
very
listened to
minimalist
it.
and dialed back and. Somebody was telling me recently to check out his album, the first one, Stony or something. I don't know. I was listening to it. It's good. It's good. He's a great songwriter. He's like legitimately
I
talented.
really
dude.
like the Dirty South kind of shit where it's like a repetitive beat and sort of like a real solid bass line, but a bass line that doesn't move a lot. And then there's just embellishments, usually with keys and shit over the top. I'm gonna listen to rap. I think that's probably. I mean, I listen to a lot of like fucking gangster rap and shit too. So I don't know, but
I've just
I like '90s gangster rap. though,
yeah.
Like fucking,
Oh, dude, that's like classic
Yeah.
classic rap, man.
Yeah.
I remember last year when I was still working at the post office, I was listening to a lot of NWA.
Yeah.
And just
Like-
a lot of the West Coast, East Coast stuff, and it was like really helped me get through the day.
I like NWA. I also like listen to a lot of Fat Joe. In my life, I've listened to a
A
ton
lot
of
of
Fat Joe. Just like late
Fat Joe,
'90s,
yeah.
late '90s, and early 2000s.
What about Wu Tang? You're into Wu Tang at all?
I never really got with it because it doesn't like. I don't like Wu Tang for the same reason I don't like fucking prog rock.
Huh.
It's just kind of like all over the
All
fucking
over,
place.
yeah.
It's just like
I think that's.
I don't know.
I feel like that's what it was.
That's why I like the Dirty South
Landmark
stuff.
about it, you know.
But that's why I like the Dirty South stuff because there's always a thing that they're gonna come back to.
Yeah, yeah.
That gives you something to sort of follow and get used to the
Right.
pattern of.
Yeah, I think I love about the Wu Tang stuff is it like really creates its own world.
It's very grimy. recording wise, especially, it's filthy. But
Yeah, it's for like kind of, I don't want to say lo-fi, but it's definitely
crusty.
like,
It's definitely crusty.
yeah.
But I also like Mortal Technique, like, and a lot of his shit was recorded in like fucking closets and stuff, like, in like fucking project bathrooms and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking. Did you ever listen to Big L? He was
No.
fucking nasty too. There's him and what's the other guy? It's a big fucking giant fat white dude. He's a chef. Forget what his name is. He raps. He's fucking nasty too.
I don't know.
But all his raps have shit like about food in it. It's really funny.
That makes sense if he's a chef.
Yeah. Action Bronson. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Liquid Swords. I haven't checked that out. Matt, I've never been blown away about people are MBV. They're great, but that's the main band people love to masturbate to nowadays. Yeah, I've noticed that. It's funny because I feel like at one point they were still.
It's because what is old is new again.
Yeah,
and
it's
people
funny.
are trying
It's
to
like,
attain those things.
that seems to be such a. I think also because it just has like Loveless has a very, I think, unique sound to it. Based around like other things that came out, especially in that era. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I remember though, like back in like early 2000s and like digging deep into stuff, and people listen to that record. It wasn't like what Matt's saying now. I just feel like it's like everywhere. It's like you can't. It's weird. It's funny. I mean, it's cool. I mean, great. But I just find that interesting too. It's almost like a testament to. I think it's so cool that these artists and indie artists that put these records out, like even like Jesus and Mary Chain, that was when they came up, like very overlooked at the time period. And then I was in like the Levi outlet or some shit, and it was like playing in there like a couple years ago. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
You know who else? Who else I liked was.
Cool. I think it's cool that there's like that this sort of revisiting of this stuff and making it new again, and also appreciation of it.
You ever listen to Built to Spill?
Oh hell yeah!
I really like those guys too.
Built to Spill is fucking great, man. That's one of my favorite fucking bands. I gotta get my CDs. I've been wanting to do some maybe record or CD reviews of like some of my favorite stuff that I used to listen to, and revisit it now. And I don't mean not like a review, like just give this 10 out of 10 type shit. Just kind of like, hey, this is something I used to listen to. This is why I liked it. This is why I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to do that. I wanted to do.
You just got to make sure you don't play any of it in the video, or you get fucking flagged.
That's right. Yeah. I did that one LA Smith one, and I don't think I played any of it. That was fun.
You have to like create your own sound alikes to be like the soundtrack behind it. Totally just fake it.
Yeah. 36 Chambers, I just saw. Master to cassette, really? Treeman said, question for Jay, the beats from the 90s and early 00s were very dry compared to today's reverb-drenched beats. Thoughts? I like the dry stuff, personally. That's a question for you.
I think you have to consider that the 90s stuff was being produced in either... I mean, some of it was in big-budget facilities, but a lot of it was in... very small budget studios, either with reel-to-reel or with ADATs a lot of times. And what they had available to them was pretty minimal. So they had some sort of drum machine, an 808 or whatever, and whatever those samples sounded like is pretty much what you got. I think until you got to like, Dr. Dre's production style, I think is where you really started to see a lot of things change that way, because he was big into like using outboard shit and incorporating the synths going through outboard reverbs and adding delays and things, and sort of he started to change the game, I think, with that production style. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the older stuff was definitely much more dry. I think just out of not really necessity, but based on what they had available, they sort of just did what they could do. It's kind of like the lo-fi aesthetic. I mean, it was uncharted territory, basically.
I mean, that's like Beastie Boys too. It's like a lot of those stuff. It's like literally
Yeah.
just something on like a 909 or like an 808. You know,
Mm.
like some of those. It's just
Yeah, but
it's
the
awesome.
Beastie Boys were even. I mean, that was an even stranger thing to have happen because they were just like a punk band. I mean, it's kind of like.
I know it's so
Like,
interesting
how did this
too.
happen
Like
on like? How did this happen on like fucking Long Island or whatever?
yeah, like I think it was
Queens, wherever the hell,
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
whatever. Yeah, it's interesting too because a lot of the songs, like I was like for some reason a song that YouTube always suggests or video YouTube always suggests for me. I guess because I've this fall song challenge last year. Speaking of which, making that cheddar was I used "Rhymin' and Stealin' from the Beastie Boys, one of my favorite tracks off one of my favorite albums, and you know, it just fuck, I lost my train of thought on that. Oh, but right. So one of the videos I always suggest, I think, is the live Beastie Boys live on SNL playing "Sabotage."
Yeah, yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like literally like a rock band.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, and that's the thing. One of their biggest tracks, I think. Is
I wonder
maybe
if they
"Sabotage."
recommended that to you because I follow you and I've watched that video like a ton
Maybe.
of times in the last 5 years.
Maybe.
I love that performance.
Yeah, that could be why. But
All the
I think that's
dudes in the house
interesting.
band are
Yeah,
playing along
yeah,
with them and shit, and you
yeah,
see the
yeah.
guy on like the bongos like.
Yep. Yeah. It's such a great performance, but I just think it's funny because a lot of people think of when you think of Beastie Boys, you think of like hip hop, but they have a lot. They have that whole album, the Inside from Way Out. Have you ever heard that album? It's like the instrumental album.
No.
It's like a white digipack.
Nope.
I remember that album. I think it's called the Inside from Way Out. That's a fucking sick album, and it's them just like jamming on instruments in a studio. I think so. I think it's just interesting. They kind of, like you're saying, they have these, but then there's like songs like on Paul's Boutique, "Heart Attack Man." I think is like literally just like a fucking raucous punk rock number. It's interesting. It goes from like these punk rock jams, and then you got stuff like these rock anthems, and then I think that's kind of like the brilliance of it. It's just I think it's interesting though, like you said, it's like came from this punk background, but then they're playing like
Well,
hip hop, and they're just like smashing all that shit together.
but
I
look,
think
the
that's-
Beastie Boys, like, that was a game changer to rap music.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had not only punk rockers, but Jewish punk rockers
Mhm.
from New York
White
City,
boys.
where there was no scene for
Brooklyn.
white rappers,
Yeah.
let alone Jewish rappers,
Right.
who broke out of not only being a punk band to become a mainstream rap group,
Yeah.
rap punk, whatever you want to
Whatever,
call
yeah.
it. Like that, the shit that they pulled off with where they came from and the odds that were against them for being who they were is fucking incredible. I mean, the mainstream success of that and the fact that it still spins on
Oh my.
radio now is like, fuck, you couldn't have hoped for a more perfect storm.
License to Ill, man, like that.
Yeah.
That still sounds like incredibly
Yeah.
fresh. Like you put that on today, that record I think is almost.
You remember
30
the
years?
Sabotage music video? Where they're all in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gray
yeah.
suits with like wigs and fucking
Yeah, it's like
paste
freeze
on
frames,
mustaches and shit.
freeze
Yeah.
frames, like introducing characters.
fucking
I think
great.
there's Marquis in that one.
Oh god.
Yeah, that shit is funny, man. Like sliding over cars and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were some
Egg
shit,
right on
man.
Mojo, hell yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting, man. Like such a cool band, and like I said, it's still so fresh. Yeah, the jazz instrumental. I think that's the Inside from Way Out. I think there's some of those tracks are on some of the other albums. Giant Tree said I get the Sabotage video all the time. That's funny. Phil Villavane, what up? Jay Dilla changed a lot. Somebody.
I don't know Jay Dilla.
I don't know
feel
Jay
like
Dilla
I
either.
feel like I should.
It's like I feel like Jay Dilla and then another rapper, hip hop. Some guy people always tell me to listen to is I can't think of his name. Nas. Have you heard?
Oz, yeah.
Yeah. Nas. Yeah.
But I feel like Nas was like a lot of the shit he was into, and a lot of the stuff that was coming out from him reminded me a lot of like P Diddy's production style. I don't know if he was affiliated with that or not, but there definitely was like some sort of tie-in. Maybe it was just the era when that shit was coming out, but I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah. Check Your Head. That's a fucking sick album. Three drum kits. They played them all. That's nuts. J-Rock said they have a ton of shit recorded. I saw that there's like a new Beastie Boys, because I guess I listen to them on Spotify a lot. They said, I got this email from Spotify that's like, you're one of the few selected people, which is probably, however many people, but they said to exclusive first look at this book, and you get like a t-shirt, but it's basically like I think a pictorial history of the Beastie Boys / like autobiography type thing. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, so speaking of Beastie Boys, is the stream tripping? It seems like it's like...
Yeah.
I wonder if the audio is still good with Ad Rock on Sway in the morning. Oh yeah, J-Rock. What is J-Rock?
J-Rock is the guy from Trailer Park Boys who rapped.
What's funny is like I didn't even miss a beat for me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ad Rock.
Come on,
right?
dog. You know what I mean?
J-Rock. Yeah, that's so funny. Like I don't even. Oh yeah, Trailer Park. Man, what a fucking. We could go off on a whole stream. I feel like on that.
I feel like J-Rock is built out of the character from what the fuck was that? Is it Malibu's Most Wanted, where the kid's the rapper?
No, I never.
So,
I know that
man,
that
you
guy.
say one more rhyme, I'ma smoke myself. You gotta watch that movie. It's fucking so stupid, but it's hilarious.
I heard that J-Rock. I think that's kind of his. He's like a Canadian comedian, and that's his act is J-Rock.
Yeah.
Jamie. Or see Bubbles play Bowie. I've never seen that.
I know Bubbles can jam. I've never seen him play Bowie, though, I don't think.
There's that one episode, the Green... What is his wrestling character? The Green Bastard?
I meant Ad Rock, not J-Rock. Whoops.
Yeah. I know in that Green Bastard episode they have a Music Master amp or something, or what's the bass amp that's like kind of similar size to a Champ but a little bit taller, and it's like a bass one. It's
well, the Music Master was a 110, I think, silver face.
Maybe I think that's
two knobs on the front.
Yeah. There's one of those in the Green Bastard episode.
6 AQ5 powered.
They were like using it to announce the people. I noticed that when I was watching that. Check that episode out if you want to see a dope ass wrestling match.
Those amps are fucking weird, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know. Never heard good things about them.
It's because of the way that they were built. They have a transformer that does the phase splitting in it, which is garbage. But anyway, they run a different power tube than anything else Fender ever built. Also, they run a 6AQ5, which is a 7-pin mini glass version of a 6V6. Those tubes actually sound really good. You just have to run them right. But
Earthquaker Devices does a neat gear tour with Mario Caldato, Beastie Boys producer. Yeah, that would be. I would love to see that. Go check that out. So is it in? It's in Mario's studio, or is it at Earthquaker headquarters, bouldering? Just
or is it at whatever Beastie Boys last known HQ was?
Bubbles plays Ziggy Stardust. Huh.
That's funny.
Never seen that one. I haven't caught up with the latest episodes.
Yeah, what's Bubbles' name? Kevin Smith, I think. Kevin Smith?
No, Kevin Smith is the guy.
Oh, the other guy.
Is the guy.
It's something Smith. What the fuck is it?
Mike
Smith, right. Kevin Smith is the
Kevin
Jane
Smith
Silent Bob guy.
Yeah. Silent, he's the big guy, right?
Yeah.
He was the bigger guy.
Yeah.
Home studio of Caldato. That's sick. Yeah, we got to check that out. Let's see. Mario.
I'm gonna step out here for a second.
All right, bro. Catch you in a minute. Yeah, that sounds dope. I'm gonna see if I can bookmark that right now. So 2K subscribers, we did it, fam. The meaning to do a stream about it, or maybe a coffee with Mike stream or something one morning. I just hadn't had a chance. Pretty nuts though, pretty nuts. I got some things I want to talk about that. I didn't want to take up my time with Jay talking about that, because I feel like we have other things to chat about, but nuts. Expect some sort of live stream about it, and I talked a little bit about it this week with Freddie on the podcast. Freddie Weber. I was actually on his podcast. Are you Freddie for this? A couple weeks ago or last week, and this week I have him on mine, and then next week he's on mine again. But really cool conversation, and we talk a bit about that and that whole thing. So, but yeah, probably be doing a live stream at some point. I think I'm going to try to do a daytime one or one in the morning. Catch some of my UK bros and brodettes and peeps, so that would be cool. But yeah, stick around for that. Let me see if I can find this Earthquaker video. I'm waiting for the unreleased Michael Jackson stuff. That sounds awesome. I mean, also Prince, I think there's like a vault. I heard like Prince's stuff. He has like...
They've already started digging into it.
Yeah, I saw the Spotify put out that album, Piano.
Yeah, the cassette.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Is it the one where it's like Prince and a piano?
Yeah, that's what it is. But there was one cassette of that in his vault, and that's what they put out.
What?
Yeah, they cleaned it up and remastered it and shit. And
so that was on like a 4-track or something?
I don't know what it was recorded with, but that's the way that the story was explained on the radio when they premiered the first track.
What? Yeah, I mean, MJ too, like Matt's saying, this serious. I think Thriller, I heard a story that they had
tons of songs.
Hundreds of songs or something that they made.
Weeded out.
That they made the, however many, what is it, 10 tracks? I don't know. But there was hundreds of B-sides or like other songs that they used to make that album. So that's going to be, just that alone sounds like it would be
yeah, but how much of that shit is actually worth listening to?
Sure. I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's interesting though to think that, you know, Thriller, I mean, largely revered as one of the greatest albums of all time.
I had that shit on vinyl when it came out.
I think I have a copy of that too in my collection somewhere. I think, but yeah, it's an interesting story, especially for people who want to make albums, and especially in this time of year, Fall Song Challenge and everything, and putting stuff out. I don't know. And then we were saying that last week too about like Foo Fighters self-titled, their first album. Like,
yeah,
Dave Grohl had about 40 songs, I think, or 44 songs. That's from what I remember. I don't know why that number sticks out, but again, he took, you know, 25% of those to put something out, and you know, sometimes that yields something really cool. You know, what if you didn't put out your next 4 albums, but just put out one album of the best ones of all that stuff? Like, that would be fucking good.
It's worth noting also that he had been amassing songs since like the fucking 80s.
Sure. And then that's the Neutral Milk Hotel thing too, you know, it's like,
which is not something that you could say for somebody like Michael Jackson. You know, that fucking dude was probably writing songs for Thriller while he was touring the last album, and you know,
I'm sure he had people helping him
oh yeah, I mean,
write things, and people with ideas coming, you know.
I'm sure.
Oh, is this it? Show us your junk? That looks really cool. I'm gonna just link this because this does sound really cool. Mario C likes to keep it clean. That's the description. I feel like YouTube keeps changing. Whatever. Yeah, I got a question for the chat. Do you guys like using computers or your iPhones or your Androids or whatever? Do you like using computers more than like your phones to do things? Because I feel like I'm like behind in that, and I'll explain.
I'd rather use my phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's easier. More straightforward. I don't have like a grab and go fucking laptop anyway. Mine takes 16 years to start up, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's certain things I'm doing lately that I just would not be able to do on my computer. I don't know. Oh yeah, Jeremy's all about the hands-free. That's right. Phil's all about the phone. I feel like I also have like my phone is a smaller Apple one. I mean, it works for this. I'm thinking about getting a new one because it's an iPhone SE, but I just like don't enjoy using it to browse the web and watch things.
That phone?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Your display is only this big.
I know. I think that's why.
It's fucking.
Because
Yeah,
I like yeah.
You get some new shit that like this will do edge display and everything if you don't
Yeah,
have this
right.
stupid fucking Pelican thing on it. And
Well, that's what I see is they have these new like iPhone XR or something.
yeah,
I don't know if I would get one of those again, but I was thinking about it too because it shoots in 4K. So I mean that's better than my fucking Canon. I have a Rebel T5i that I shoot all this stuff on,
right.
and that's older, you know. But it looks good. It shoots HD, but you know the iPhones, like a lot of phones, they shoot in 4K, and people hear people editing their videos, and you know, and for I'm wondering if that would probably do wonders for the live stream too. I mean, I guess this is HD. But you know, thinking about if you could shoot in the live stream in 4K, as long as the you know, as long as the wireless was fast enough, I guess you could do it. But it's just crazy because I hear of so many people doing more and more things on their phone. And
Oh yeah.
I'm just like behind the times because I still use a fucking laptop. I guess I like this. I like it though.
I'd like to have a nice laptop myself.
Yeah.
But
I guess everybody uses both. I don't know, but
with my present situation, I don't have a laptop that's worth a shit. So
right.
it's good for photoshopping and for doing PC board layouts, and that's about all I use it for. But your mileage may vary. Yeah.
Dwayne, I'm not sure what that's a reference to. There was nothing in Al Capone's vault, but it wasn't Geraldo's fault. He didn't have any tracks stacked up. Oh, hey, great shot. What's up?
Fucking Geraldo. Like Geraldo Rivera, is that what you mean?
I don't know. I don't know if that's like a popular saying or something.
I have no idea. Maybe it's a J-Rock rap.
Maybe, yeah. Tree Man, what do you believe will be the next thing for drums in hip hop? We are clearly in the era of the resurrected 808. What's next? I don't know.
The Lynn drum machine.
Lynn 9000. That's what Prince always used. I fucking love that too. That's Me and the Machine. That was the machine I was referencing.
Either that or the you ever see the one that Overtone made it or marketed it? It was drum beats and it was like push buttons and you could vary how fast it went.
Oh yeah.
I think it came out like I think Silver did it, and I think the same thing came out as like a harmony. And I know that like
was it like Rhythm Master or something?
Yeah, Rhythm Ace maybe.
Rhythm Ace,
like
Ace Toner, yeah, like that, yeah.
I bet that'd be the next thing. You also can do cool shit, honestly, with the rhythm brains that are in a lot of the old like console organs, like your grandma would have had and shit.
Like,
you can most of the headphone output of some kind, some sort of output that you could plug in, or a lot of them did. You can actually catch the 2-track there and track that into your DAW, and either fucking time stretch it, flex time it, or
that's something
you got to do a lot of cleanup work.
Do you have one of those?
A little noisy. No, but I have worked on tracks like that before.
I feel like that's another one of those things that is sitting in your attic.
Sometime no, those things are so fucking heavy. Sometime when you come up and remind me, I'll play you the tracks that I did that reference that.
See that we got the spinning wheel of death on the comp here.
We do.
I don't know if it's that I picked that up or not. Let me check out the phone here. Oh, it looks like peeps are still here. Hey, you guys still hear us out there? Something tripped. Strip attack. Seems to be. I'm not really sure what's up. Let me. Maybe I should turn off the Wi-Fi on the phone. Yep, still here.
Your Wi-Fi dropped out. That's what happened.
Oh. All right. How are we doing now? I just changed some settings. See, that's something I really like to get. Yeah, I think my Wi-Fi just took a shit.
Yeah, it seems like every week now it's been doing that.
I know something's up. I don't know. I switched it over to LTE, so hopefully this is better. It looks a lot better now, actually. So I hope everybody's still there. Sorry if we lost you. Hope it's not too laggy. I'm really digging this conversation about the drum machines. This is a lot of fun. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun all night. I really like the that Electro Harmonics one, the DRM 15, I think it is, or DMR. It's some really cool sounds on that. It's kind of like the big box pedals, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like one I know Moby. I remember watching a video about that with Moby, and he like was collecting them or had a bunch of them saved up. And he's like, "Yeah, this is the one. This is the one." But I'd get the DM1 Drum Machine app. I always fucking say that that's the best. I got all the samples from all this stuff on it. I don't know. I don't know what's next. I don't know. Something will be back around again. Do y'all still, when listening to an album in full, look at the art and examine each and every inch of the album fold out? Yeah, I think that's like the most compelling part of having records and even CDs. Like I'm still. Oh, that was always something I used to love to do. I think today's world it's so different because everything is everywhere online, and you can Google My Bloody Valentine and find all you want to know about Kevin Shields and everything. And when that shit came out, though, it was just the record or just the CD with the book in there and whatever info the artist elected to put in there or could afford however many panels in that CD book or whatever. That's what you got. And I think that for me, that's what it was all about, the lore. And you know, it was kind of like the bonus material, I guess, or how you could figure out what you wanted to learn about the artist. And now today it's kind of a lot different how that works. And I think we definitely, you know, I still think that's really cool, albums. And not a huge record guy, like I've always said, and been realizing more of a CD boy, but I think it's still cool. I think the physical format's still cool. I think it's well alive. There's a lot of people really into collecting and doing stuff. So yeah, I would definitely say I definitely would love looking at all that stuff. North Anchor, what up? Look, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, thanks for catching us live. I know it's probably late for y'all, because I think you're in UK, right? Oh yeah, I've been debating getting an iPad to record with Bobby. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I've heard a lot of good things with that, especially for recording mobile. You know, and I think the biggest conduit or the funnel for that was I was looking into it, but I don't think there was a way you could charge it and also hook it up to an interface, or maybe you need some kind of dongle or. I don't know. It seemed like it wasn't there yet. I think at some point we'll get that, maybe in a couple of years if it's there. Like you should always include the word lo-fi in your video titles. Lots of people search that word looking for lo-fi hip hop stations and whatnot. Use trendy words to your advantage. All right, that's a good tip, Matt.
So I'm looking at this video. This is about DIY sub kicks. I was gonna link it. This video has 424 likes.
Gotta link it.
Gotta link it.
That's crazy. It's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Meant to be. I was watching a video before that had 424. No, it was 4 minutes and 24 minutes long. I had to watch it. 4 minutes and 24 seconds long. 4K live will be havoc on live stream bandwidth. Oh yeah. I feel like I need some fiber optic. You know, okay, so this is something that's coming up.
Favorite late night talk show host? I don't know. I don't watch cable television.
Oh man, I'm like way behind.
Not up on any of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say maybe Conan. I don't know if he's still doing stuff. That guy's funny, but wonders why he didn't get the Tonight Show. I mean, I always like Conan and Andy. Like when Andy was on the show, I think they still do stuff. I think one of the funniest bits I ever saw on that show was it was Y2K, and they had a joke about I guess it was 1999. Their joke was like people that are in Chicago, they're watching the end of the world in New York, and they're like, it's like oh kids, it's okay. We still got another hour before the world ends. It's like that whole joke because like everybody thought Y2K was going to be like the end of the world. I thought that shit
Yeah.
was so funny. I mean, I guess I was also 15 or however old I was, but I thought that was a smart fucking bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. The fucking stream is like tripping again. Hope you guys caught that. It's not really that important, but No Wave Charles. Uh, what's up, No Wave Charles? I think I meant to say hi to you before I saw you come through.
What up?
Yeah, sorry that things lag. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. But I appreciate you weighing in on the PC phone thing. Definitely in terms of making music, I gotta say computer too. But listening to music phone way more portable. Yeah, that's why I was looking at the iPad thing too in terms of recording. But I think that's why because I still do obviously with the channel, doing a lot of video editing with the songs and doing a lot of Logic Pro X stuff. So it's kind of like I don't feel that maybe I don't know. I just don't want to be behind the trend, if iPads and phones, if that's all people work on anymore. But I still like the tactile mouse and keyboard vibe of editing and doing stuff. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like at a certain level of doing stuff, it's always going to be that way, right? Like how could that get replaced? I don't know.
It can't.
It kind of just seems like that's what it's going to have to be. Phone sideways puts the comments over Jay's face. I need a grumpy no-all friend. All good. Yeah, sorry, Jay. I don't mean to, or like when people turn their phone sideways, it cuts you off with the comments. That's the other thing
right.
too. If you watch online or on the computer, you have a separate chat window, a separate video window.
Just in scrolling through to find that video that I posted, I found Nirvana videos from when they played Les Fous Electriques in Montreal, which is the first big boy venue I ever mixed.
Huh, that's awesome.
That is pretty
awesome.
A
lot of serendipitous coincidences on your YouTube search right now.
Yeah, I don't know where that's even coming in. There are two of them, but
that's cool.
I'll link the second one because it looks like it has more songs.
Yeah, let's check that out. Great shot. On analog drum machine kick right now, prices are nuts. CR78s have gone nuts due to Mac Marco. Yeah, I saw that Mac had one. And obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen that Radiohead live performance. It's like Tom York and Johnny Greenwood and a CR78, and it's like shot by PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, who did like Boogie Nights and Magnolia and stuff. And just a funny ass like quick music video, and they're on like dollies or whatever those are called. And it's cool. It's a great song, chill vibe, but they are using CR78. Yeah, those sound fucking sick. They have a really cool sound. Great shot. I don't know if you've checked out the DM1 drum machine app, but it has the CR78 sounds on it. I know it's not the same as the real thing, but that was like a point I made in a video a while back. It was like I think I got the thing for free, and it has all these vintage drum machine sounds, and I would love to be able to collect drum machines, right? But I just can't. I don't know. I just can't do it. I don't have the money. It's nuts.
I'm gonna step back a little bit. Somebody said Jimmy Fallon's not funny.
He's from your town.
He is. He's from Saugerties.
This will be interesting. I could see.
He went to the same high school that I went to.
So are you coming out as like a?
Oh no, I don't care one way.
Jimmy Fallon.
I was just gonna get that tie-in with that he's from the same town.
I figured it was gonna go one of two ways. You're either gonna defend him and be like, no, he's fucking sick. He's from my hometown, or you're gonna be like, yeah, he sucks, but he's from my hometown.
Honestly, I think I'm funnier than half these motherfuckers who get paid to be funny. So
yeah. Well, I mean, SNL. To be honest, like that's a fucking hard thing to do. Though that every year, every week. I mean, I don't think SNL is the funniest thing. I never thought it was, but I gotta give them credit. Like every fucking week for however many years. What is it? 40 years. They put on a live comedy show.
Yeah, but they have a team of like 27 fucking writers. I mean,
that's still fucking hard, man. Like
27 people in a room though should be able to come up with some shit that's at least half-ass funny.
That's true. I mean, every week we
How
do.
fucking tough could it be? They riff on political commentary and shit, and like
current events. All right. I mean, maybe you're changing my perspective of it.
Well, I'm not saying that it's. I mean, it's still a lot to come up with, but you got 27 people working on it. If it was like one dude trying to write all that script, that would be...
Yeah. I just think that's...
Like,
you're right. I
damn.
guess with the amount of people they have working on it, it just seems like that's a crazy endeavor. But then again, Jay, you and I put on a 2-hour live show every week.
Yeah.
And I think our show's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, so... But I guess...
Live and unscripted.
Apparently they still use, like, cue cards and shit on SNL.
Well,
Like
that's
Hangout.
because I'm guessing they probably don't get scripts. I mean,
It's probably because it changes, yeah.
yeah.
Jay's a regular Mitch Hedberg.
I don't know who that is.
He's like a comedian. I think he died, and he
Oh.
had like really good jokes though, like really just good one-liners.
Too bad I'm not him, huh?
Come on.
Shit. Johnny Marr and Eddie Vedder. How did that happen?
What's that, a video?
Yeah. Sure. Johnny Marr playing through like a fucking giant something too. I don't know what the hell. Oh, that might be the bass player's rig.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean, being behind on current tech. I appreciate that, No Wave. Yeah, I'm usually about 5 years behind the trend, so I'm trying to be better. Oh, North Anchor is in California. That's funny. Cool. For some reason, I thought you were in the UK. My bad. I haven't seen you in a while. North Anchor's, I think, a very early subscriber to the channel. Good to see you coming back through and checking things out. I guess I like Conan as like the. I guess I like Conan because he's. I don't know. I don't really understand the drama that happened with him. I know he got like kind of kicked off the network or something with the Tonight Show idea. I guess I kind of like that lure about him because he almost feels a little more authentic or something.
Well, what happened? What did he do?
I don't know. I know that he like lost his gig though on one of the big networks.
Oh, really?
TBS picked him up or whatever that network he's on now. Or I don't know. Basically, he has his own show. Basically, he got, maybe chat knows like what's up with this, but from my understanding, he was lined up or ready to take over one of the bigger shows on the networks, and then they basically canned him, and then he went to...
What was the scandal that he must have done?
I don't
something.
know if there was a scandal. I think he just didn't get the job. I think it was like...
He just got passed
they
over?
Just didn't... Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know. I for some reason I always... That, to me, maybe because he seems like more of an underdog or something, or he seems more... alternative or something. I don't know. He just seems to me more authentic or like I think that's cool. Like he said, fuck it, I'm gonna still try to do my own show and did his own show, and obviously he's got these networks backing him, but I don't know. I respect. I feel like if somebody just came in and saw like that part of the stream, they'd be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Oh, Bill Hicks, yeah. He sucked. I think they're canceling him soon. He had Norm Macdonald. He had Hitting the Late Show, but Jay Leno decided to come back. Oh, is that what it was? It's going to 30 minutes. Oh, huh. Yeah, Bill Hicks I always heard was good. Jay can't be Mitch Hedberg. Jay's only dead on the inside. He had gotten the Late Show, but Leno decided to return, thus they burned him. Oh, okay, so some kind of drama with that. Gotcha. Yeah, I kind of remember all that stuff going on. I didn't follow it closely enough because I didn't really watch late shows or whatever, but...
Jay Leno discussed it with his chin and decided they needed to make a comeback.
Yeah. Bill Burr, yeah, he's pretty funny. Seems like another really hard-working dude.
Bill Murray's my favorite Bill.
Bill Murray, yeah.
My favorite Bill.
My favorite Bill. That's true. I mean, there has been a lot of great comedic actors that have come up through SNL.
Just about every one of them in the last, fucking 40 years?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, that's, I don't know. It seems like I feel like one of the most memorable, popular skits was the Will Ferrell Blue Oyster Cult cowbell
that one's
skit.
fucking
Like
funny.
that's like probably, if there was if there was an SNL greatest SNL of all time, that would definitely be on it.
I don't know. Eddie Murphy with the where he's doing Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Did you ever see that one? Oh,
No.
you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that one. Go into Mama's room and say, "Bitch." Oh, did Mommy slap you? Then you said it right. You gotta watch that. Shit's fucking hilarious.
What year? That must be like,
Oh
what,
my God,
90s or
it's
something?
so funny. No, I don't even know. That's gotta be 80s.
Oh, Chris Farley, Down by the River. That's a good one. We have a music question from Tree Man. Do either of you guys use a mixer? I've recently incorporated one into my recording gig.
Presently I don't. In the past I always have.
What's the change there? That seems like an interesting segue into something there.
Well, I have a ton of front end options now, so I don't really need the mixer, and I also don't have one that has routing that's flexible enough for what I do now. I started out with PV Utility 1000, which was 12 channel, a 12 by 2. I was running into a sound card input stereo with that. And then I got a Mackie 1604 VLZ Pro, I think it was, or VLZ 3 maybe or something. And that's what I started multi-track digital with. And that thing always sounded fucking great. The tones are kind of hyped, but actually really does sound good. And then I moved up to a 32.8. I ran that for a long time. Sold it after I got the giant Altec and the fuck's that other board? The Soundcraft, my PA board.
Oh yeah, that's a nice board.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, the EQs in that board kind of suck. The mid range, I feel like they should have built that with a dual mid sweep, something semi parametric twice instead of once. Like as a live board, that thing's a pain in the fucking ass. It's like you got a kick drum, so do you like want to cut out the really ugly boxy shit, or do you like want to fix the attack because the drummer kicks like a child? Yeah. So you end up pulling the boxy shit out, but you can't do anything about fixing the attack because you don't have another mid to fucking zero in on it with to bring it out.
Right.
So you end up with a kick that is just kind of a flat sound.
How are you using yours, Tree Man? I've never used one. I went straight from the Tascam, which I don't know if you can see it. It's sort of in the shot right here. 424 to just DAW recording, and I always use the the mixers built into DAWs. Which is funny because now I have the UA stuff, and that is like all about console and using a digital mixer, and I just haven't really used it. I don't know. I never really had the option to use it. So I don't know. I haven't really. I'd like to try one though. I really want to try that new Tascam digital board they came out with. I don't remember, Tascam 8 or something. We were talking about it a couple weeks ago. What's your desert island musical instrument or piece of gear? First thing that comes to mind is the Silvertone for me. Like immediately as soon as you said that, I would say that. I think I could do pretty good with just that. Just on an island for eternity.
Yeah, I think I would take my Jag Stang. It's been with me the longest. I sort of owe it that.
Nice. Oh, the EQs treatments that are not great on their mixer.
What is the mixer?
What? Backstage Plus for 25 next gig? Yo, you gotta let us know how that works, Phil. I would love to hear about that. I would definitely say use the headphone out for that, and
Use a DI off the headphone out so that you can pad it.
yeah, just be careful because definitely try that before you do it, because it is.
You don't
prone
have to try it
feedback.
before you do it. It'll work. It'll be prone to feedback, but when you plug into the headphone out, it'll kill the power amp. So the feedback will be either through the PA or through the monitor system that's attached to the PA. but your sound guy should be able to handle that.
Yo, let us know how that goes. I've been wanting to do that. I just don't really play. We don't really play live anymore. Should maybe once in a while.
Yo, if
Oda.
you're gonna take a Blues Junior on the desert island, though, you better bring like a lifetime supply of fucking EL84s. Just saying. Do that mod. Do that mod.
A Samsung MDR10, probably cheap. That's the mixer.
Samsung MDR10. I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know one either. $50 on Reverb. It looks kind of like a Behringer or something along those lines.
Yeah, all that Samsung shit kind of is. All those things are sort of made in the same capacity. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, see, but you have high and low shelf, and you have a single mid sweep, which is what I'm stuck with in the Soundcraft that I paid about I don't know 7 times that much for. You don't have inserts, which kind of sucks, but you have master gain and volume on each channel. You have looks like a pre and a post aux maybe. I think that's what I'm looking at. Or maybe one is internal reverb and the other is an auxiliary. And then you got pan pots. And it also seems to have buses of some kind. So I mean, you could do worse for $50, honestly. I don't know what it's got for output.
So it's super cheap. I got it from a family member who bought it in the early 00s.
Yeah, 24-bit DSP effects isn't so bad if you're using it for
Yeah, I have a Samsung
any sort of live mix.
That's how I know. I have the Samsung Q Kick. It's like a cheap mic I got. Same kind of deal.
This also has Phantom in it.
Awesome fucking mic.
You could really do a lot actually with this little board if you had to. I mean, I wouldn't be trying to mix like full bands through it, but you could certainly do a lot of shit. I personally really like the little cheap shit, like the old Behringer mixers and stuff. There's a really interesting sort of effect thing that can happen there when you play with those. Things tend to get really hyped and sort of saturated when you overuse and abuse the EQs, and I kind of like that. So I don't think there's really such a thing as a bad piece of gear if it doesn't really cost you much.
Yeah, I
You can always find something you can fucking destroy with it.
It's funny that you say that because that's so like the I made that new series Trash or Fantastic where it's kind of a parody of like, you know, making fun of old pedals or pedals that have a bad reputation, and that's kind of the thing I realized though is like that's why it sort of doesn't work is because it really just comes down to how you use these things, you know.
Sure.
Because something is like a cheap like that fucking pedal I got, this $5 pedal. It was the I can't look at the name. It was the distortion. I was gonna start modding it and messing around with it, but I got this pedal for $5 or $10. It's the second episode of the series, and like, you know, people say like, "Oh, this thing's a piece of shit" or whatever, and it sounds like you can make it work. The Rock Tech, yeah, you can make it work. Like, same with the Metal Zone. It's like, yeah, it's like ubiquitous for being like this trashy, shitty pedal, but you know, time and time again, I'm realizing it all comes down to what you do with it. So,
well, it's a lot of it. It's also,
it's just funny because it feels like it's not like objectively, like, so one of my favorite channels is this Angry Video Game Nerd. Well, it's Cinemassacre, and they used to do this. And they still do episodes, and it's all about like video game history and making fun of like old Nintendo games and shit, you know.
Right.
And I feel like that works really well, and that's kind of partial inspiration for Trash or Fantastic. And I feel like it works really well because some of those early Nintendo games are just objectively trashy, shitty things. Like, how did they release this thing? You know, like it's like untested, or
they made them almost impossible on purpose. Some of them, like Ninja Gaiden and shit. You ever play that fucking game? Holy
definitely,
Christ.
yeah.
You want
I
to
mean-
fucking commit suicide after you play that for about 12 minutes. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like there's games that are really hard.
I don't think I could fucking survive this one.
I think actually have an episode on that one, but I guess my point is like that. I feel like that works really well because you can tear that stuff apart because it's objectively like program bad or just like kind of a joke compared to the stuff you have today or just in comparison to some of the other games out there, right? So, but that's the idea behind Trash or Fantastic was like I wanted to find this gear that people said was crappy and make fun of it and do a little history on it. And then what I realized after doing a couple episodes, and I have a third one in the mix that I'm working on, it's just like a lot of this stuff is like it seems like it's like because music is more subjective, and this comes back to the Samson mixer and the Samson Q kick that I have. It's like even though like people on like these forums and places will like probably bash that gear because it's cheap, like it works really well if you know how to use it. And I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying is like that series. I may have to swing it a little bit differently, but my main point is that I tried to make the series knocking cheap, crappy equipment.
Right.
And what I realized is that like if you're knocking cheap, crappy equipment, it's because you're not being creative in how you're using it, or it comes down to like user error. I think because I'm realizing like some of the stuff like you can always find a use for it. Like it may not do exactly what you want, but it does something that could be used somewhere. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's what I've been struggling with recently is I wanted to make this objectively funny show about objectively bad music gear, and I've realized that it's all subjective. Oh, you gotta try shit though, you know. So I hope that helps, Tree Man. I don't know. That's a little bit of a tangent. Where do you guys get your deoxit spray? My Radio Shack closed down. I think Amazon.
I
Or
get mine through
Lowe's?
New Sensor.
Oh, New Sensor.
Yeah, but
That's
Electro-Harmonics.
Electro-Harmonics distribution, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of places you could get it. Amazon is probably the most reasonable, honestly, but
Yeah, I'm sure hardware stores probably may have it. I don't know.
Most
It
don't.
seems
But
like
if
something
you go to
that
like
would be sitting somewhere.
Guitar Centers, most Guitar Centers have
Oh,
D5.
yeah. I think we got the spinning wheel of death here again. I don't know why. On here it looks like we're still going, so I'm gonna say that we're still going. I think my computer is just shit in the bed. Yeah, PVs. That's funny, Phil. You said old TVs are tanked lame logo. Yeah, you gotta take the logo off, and it looks way better. It looks like an amp. They would be in like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World once you take the logo off. I think it's just like a no branded kind of thing.
I liked that movie.
Oh, I fucking love that movie, man. It's on. I think it's on Netflix now. I have a copy of it. I had a copy for the longest time. One of my favorite movies, I think. I just love it. You guys are still going strong. Yeah, Jeb, good to see you. NES hard, yeah.
Man, I'm trying to find the fucking.
Oh yeah, I heard the guitarist from Cannibal Corpse uses Metal Zone almost like a clean boost.
There's a shocker.
I was yeah. Well, there's the video. Recently, Ola Englund did one about Metal Zone, and he put it in the effects loop, and it sounds good. It sounds good. You know, it's been years of people shitting on that, and only to realize that there's ways you can use it that sound good. Matt was asking something earlier. He said, "I don't know how to do a bias mod, Jay. I ain't Mr. Wizard
Yeah, I'm
like
looking.
you."
I'm looking for my notes.
Oh, okay.
I can't find the fucking thing.
I had to use Samson out of necessity for its preamp since my tape machine has only 2 preamps. Yeah, right. I think that was. What did they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. Is that the right thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the PV solid state stuff's great. I still think like you would do pretty well to grab one off Craigslist with the saturation if you like dirty distortion lo-fi stuff. because they're fucking dirt cheap. There's so many of them right now. I'm gonna say, I know you can't predict the future, but I'm gonna say in 10, 15, 20 years, well, I don't know. I'm gonna say that I think much like we're seeing this resurgence of all these tube amps and like silver face stuff, like price skyrocketing. I think
Yeah.
that PV solid state stuff at some point, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, but at some point that stuff's gonna get rare and people are gonna come looking for it. So
It won't be in our lifetimes, but
you don't think so? Maybe because there's like so much of
yeah,
it.
they built
Yeah.
thousands of fucking units every month of that shit.
Yeah, I guess you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is they're 25, 50. Phil said he got his for 25. I got mine for 50.
yeah.
For under 100
Well,
bucks, go on Craigslist.
They're in almost every city has a Goodwill and a fucking Salvation Army and a pawn shop. If you visit those three things, you will find probably
Yeah. If you're
several
looking for
options.
a cheap amp, yeah. I don't know. I've
They
really
work.
enjoyed
that's
the
really what
yeah,
it comes down to.
They work, and they're tanks, and
Yeah.
if you're looking to do any kind of distortion, vocal distortion, check them out.
If you need something just to put your guitar through, I mean, what the fuck? Use it as it was intended. Feel free.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It ain't gonna hurt you. Nobody's judging.
Oh yeah, Bobby, I definitely feel you on that. I hate YouTube channels where the host has a ton of gear but plays like crap, and it's usually the one with the cheap stuff that rocks. And Matt said, I agree, just about anything is useful in some way. I just try not to buy anything that's outlived its usefulness. Yeah, hell yeah. That's the thing I always try to impress upon the channel and like even my own life is I want stuff that's like a Swiss Army knife, you know? So I can use it for a lot of different things. It's not just gonna sit somewhere and, you know, have like a really one-trick pony type of thing.
Right.
I think that's a lot of what live gear does get bad rep is because it is a one-trick pony, you know. Trying to think of like certain pedals and sounds of certain pedals, you know.
Sorry, I'm still trying to
Oh, that's all
my
good.
fucking notes on this thing. I think looking at the schematic, it's R51.
Yo, that's awesome. North Anchor said, I feel like my Logic X recordings sound like my 424 4-track. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
HM2, yeah, I want to get one of those. I want to at least try one out. I think it'd be make a fun video.
sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just trying to find the answer to that
For Matt's question.
bias thing. Yeah, it'll depend. I know.
I got something funny thing I want to talk about while you're looking for that.
I know it will depend on which version of this amp you have, what color the board is.
So, I mean, just to say to you, okay, Jay, what if I told you there was another channel, another two people out there named Mike and Jay who review stuff and who don't agree on stuff?
Man.
I came across something the other day. I was reading it. I think it was a gear. I mean, I think these guys are movie reviewers, but I think it's called We Watched the Movie Mike and Jay. And but I came across this thread and I almost like lost it for a second because it said they were talking about a piece of gear or something or like a movie, and it said, and the comment was, yeah, but the world would end if Mike and Jay like the same thing, or you would know it was really good if Mike and Jay liked the same thing. And when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, wait a second. Is this somebody who like watches the channel? Like, what is this all about? You know, because that's like a gag. People always say like you don't like anything, and like we balance it out. So I was like, oh shit, there's another, or I was like, oh shit, we're really getting out there. But it turns out there's these other two guys that I guess they're like movie reviewers that watch movies and they have very different opinions about them. And I just thought it was fucking funny because, I mean, I guess shame on me for being that delusional that I thought, like, you know, this was, you know, bleeding into the subconscious, but, or the zeitgeist, or, I don't know, not the subconscious, like the, whatever. I thought, it's like, man, me and Jay, man, we got some reach, dude. There's like random people commenting on this video, and it's like, nah, there's these other two dudes that review movies
So
named Mike and Jay.
going back to that question about the Blues Junior bias mod, if you wanted to cool the bias off on that, my notes and looking at this schematic, looks like what you need to focus on is R51, which is a 33K resistor. It may be different depending on what color your board is. I'm trying to figure that out. It'd be R37 or R51 depending on which revision you have. It's a 33K resistor stock. If you put somewhere between a 68K and a 100K resistor soldered across that in parallel, you'll cool the bias down well low enough to not kill the tone, but also not kill tubes all the time. So, yeah. If you really want to do it, all you need is a very fast soldering hand and that resistor. And you literally bend little hoops on the legs of that resistor. You slip them over the legs that stick out of the board of the resistor in question. Pinch them closed gently, very quickly solder it so it doesn't melt the joints underneath, so you don't have to take the whole fucking board out. And that's the fast way to fix the bias on that Blues Junior. They all eat fucking tubes, so if you cool the bias off at least a little, that's good.
Well, Matt, I hope that helps you out, man. Well, Jay, it's 9:20. I know we started a little late today.
Yeah. Time to call it though. I need pizza.
Yeah, dude.
Something.
Yeah, all right. We'll catch you guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, this is Mike and Jay. What track are you guys talking about, Jeremy? I think we missed some of the chat or something. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up though. I'm pretty shot right now. I don't know why. That's my reasoning for wrapping up. But anyway, so this has been fun though, Jay. As always, fucking sick, man. Okay. Later, Phil. Good to see you. Good to see you, North Anchor, Bobby, Tree-Man.
Skiz, yeah,
A lot of good questions tonight.
If you go to do that,
Jeremy, Jay,
check voltages
Matt.
on the filter caps first. Make sure you're not going to get zapped. You shouldn't in that amp, but that doesn't mean anything. Check your voltages. Assumption is not a good replacement for actual physical measurement and data. So,
yeah, definitely don't open that thing up if you don't feel comfortable.
And if you can find somebody that has a fine tip soldering iron that gets real hot, so it can happen very fast, you can easily tack that thing in there and just do it. 100K would be fine. 68K I think is what I put in the last one. I know I've used 39K also to really. I had one that for some reason ran the fucking tubes at it was 130% of max dissipation or something. They were ready to fucking destabilize and blow up as soon as I put new tubes in it, and there was no way to get them down, both tubes. So I used 39K I think parallel across that. You also, if you're pulling the board for any kind of major service, which that amp will almost definitely need filter caps because it has shitty Illinois capacitors that leak. The other option is to replace one of the resistors in the other part of that bias supply with a little potentiometer so that you can actually, with a screwdriver, adjust the bias. So it's all pretty easy. If it was here, I could do the fucking thing, turn around in about an hour. But
damn, so it's not too tough though.
No, even if you got to take the board out, once you've done a couple, those fucking things fly apart in my house. It's ridiculous. So
Coop, good to see you too. Bouldering, thanks for coming through. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you checking the channel out. That's what we're all about, info and inspiration. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Jay and I are live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. New podcast, 8 a.m. Eastern. Interview other creatives and artists about their creative process. That's on any podcasting platform that you probably listen to. Just search 424 Recording, and then new videos every Friday. Sometimes do one on Tuesdays, and those are 3 p.m. Eastern with live streams every once in a while. So if anyone's new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And like I said, Jay and I are here, 7
Yep.
p.m. Eastern, chilling, big hanging 10. Chat disconnected. Hopefully, I think we're probably still going, but
There it is.
yeah, Jeremy,
So-
like Jeremy said, smash that like button. So good to see everybody. I'm glad to see everybody hanging out. We got some oldies, old
Yeah.
OG Task fam, some new Task fam.
AC-15 versus Blues Junior. AC-15 reissue, you mean? For me, Blues Junior with mods. Stock, it's probably 50-50 toss-up. The AC-15, I think, is still cathode biased in the reissues. So it'll be a little softer and a little chimier probably, but I honestly would almost always lean towards a Fender anything over a lot of other shit. So AC-15 with the Alnico Blue, the Alnico Blue 10 or 12. Anyway, we're splitting hairs. We got a beautiful kit at Vintone to recone the Alnico Blue into the best sounding speaker you ever fucking heard. So just let me know. Plug. But,
Email me, email him.
Yeah. Also, if you need help with modifying that amp, if you got somebody who's competent with an iron but doesn't know amps, then I could just write out the thing for how to do that and give you send you a snippet of the schematic so that your technician can figure out what it is that I do. It's pretty straightforward stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
Go get some pepperoni pizza.
Hell yeah.
And,
Make sure you do something you want to do, like Jeremy said.
Every single day of your life.
Every single day. Even if it's just get a piece of pepperoni pizza, make sure you do that. It's really important.
That and the 2 Starbucks I had today would be the only thing I did today that
Oh, damn.
I wanted to do.
Well,
Good night, fam.
later, fam. We got to rectify that. Damn,